really good friend of mine. We have like a long history. She has struggled insanely with weight like her entire life. And so she got on with the 2B mindset, and she was doing like a fasting thing at the same time. And I was really, for whatever reason, I struggle with helping to mentor people that are really close to me, like family members or really close friends. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I think it's like I don't want to hurt them, or I don't want to like offend them. So I like really back off, and then I don't end up doing them any favors because I'm not giving them any value because I'm too afraid to do it wrong, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So anyways, she signed up with 2B Mindset, and I put her in the group and like checked in on her probably like 3 times, I think it was, in like a span of a month. That was also when we went to like Summit and stuff. And so she didn't get anything from the group, like the Facebook group, and she wasn't having any success because she just wasn't doing it. And she was drinking Shakeology like twice a week is what she ended up telling me. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, I'm like, Shakeology, you need to be drinking it every day for it to work. And I kind of briefly said why. And I had told her this before, but I didn't follow up and make sure that she was doing it. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, don't you think that it's like a placebo, or it could be a placebo? And I got so defensive. Mm-hmm. And so that wasn't effective at all, because she got defensive right back, and it turned into like a massive fight. So, and then she made a good comment. She was like, you know what, like, if you're getting defensive, it shows me that you're not actually confident in the product. Because she's like, when people ask me about fasting, people question it all the time, and I support it with, you know, the research and the facts and my confidence behind it. And if I was to get defensive, obviously that would show that I'm not confident. And I think that's totally legit. And my defensiveness was coming from a different place at that point, but still it didn't show her what I wanted to show her.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah. So I was just going to kind of reiterate to people like how important it is to, like, regardless of your history with people, regardless of the background, like if you can stick to, you know, what we know about Shakeology and the confidence you have behind it because of what it's done for you. And like, know that the minute that you get defensive about a product is the minute that they start to question you, and not have the confidence that you know what you're talking about, kind of thing. So
I totally agree. Confidence is like everything. And I think, when people get reactive like that, it definitely is a learning thing, because I've done it before too, because it like pushes a different button. It might not be necessarily like, since it's a close family member, it pushes that other button. And you're like, that is not me. I don't want to talk like that about Shakeology. So that is such a good learning experience. Like, totally. Yeah.
And then the other part of that is like, as shitty as that experience was, and I seriously bawled that entire night, and I had like, it's like affected me for the last couple of days. But at the same time, it's like, when like I'm committed to growing from that experience, and I feel like sometimes the bigger the struggle or the bigger the mistake, mm-hmm. If you're willing to learn from it, the bigger the reward, like the lesson that comes from it. Because since then, like, I've already, like, in my brain, like, I've solidified certain things so that I don't do that again. Mm-hmm. And I've even like followed up with people that I hadn't followed up with that I knew I should, and like just more on top of my shit.
You're more resilient in your head, and you're like, no, this shit is real, and I'm confident, and I'm going to back it up 110%. Because when you feel like it's like the bigger the struggle, it's like the bigger the eye opener. And then you see like, no, this is the way I have to develop my thinking habits, mm-hmm. so that my words and my thoughts can come out the way I feel about it. right?
Yeah.
So that's awesome. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh, that's such a good learning experience. Even though you've been struggling, don't struggle. Just shake it off and be like, you know what? Bless and release. Bye. See ya. Peace out. Oh,
Totally.
awesome.
Bless and release. I love that term.
Yeah. And like one of the side notes, so I went hiking this weekend with a new friend, and he's like super into bodybuilding and stuff like that. I actually brought Shakeology with me, like the bag, the vanilla vegan bag, and he actually read the ingredients because he knows his like stuff, like inside and out, ingredients, how things are released in your body, and like he's like a wealth of knowledge. And he read the ingredients and he was like, yeah, this stuff is good. Like he had nothing bad to say about it. So right then and there, it's like, you know, the product is like legit, right? This guy has 20 years of experience doing bodybuilding, and for him to like read the back of it and actually say that Beachbody is awesome and he supports it 110%, you're like, yeah, freaking right. Like you're just like, thank you. You know, it doesn't really matter what you thought, because I know how it makes me feel when I drink it, and like I'm off if I don't drink it in a day. So, you know, it all comes down to personal experience. So yeah, that was kind of cool. That was just like a little side note.
That's awesome. That's so good to hear.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
okay. Did you want to? Oh, Tanner's coming to say hi.
Oh, hi.
hey, Tanner.
I've been listening to Amanda and you, of course. But I was gonna say, and just when you're saying that part, it was like, I don't think Carl, and I don't know the other guy's name, would have Carl's partner.
Carl and Jeff?
No, there's another guy. Like that.
What did you say, Emily?
Jeff Hill.
Jeff Hill?
No, it's something I've never heard of. Because Jeff Hill's more on the front line. He was Carl and his partner, not his wife. But I thought it was Carl and another guy.
Okay. Anyways, what?
It wouldn't be $1 billion company if Shakeology didn't work.
Yeah.
Tony Horton.
Nope.
They were the ones who developed it. I don't know.
Who developed it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Beachbody?
Beachbody, not the Shakeology.
Oh, okay.
Like Carl's partner.
Sorry.
We'll figure it out. Google it, Tanner, because now I'm curious. Okay. Yeah. So anyways, I was just going to touch base on having meaningful conversations. Is that an area you guys feel that you're kind of struggling a bit in?
Like, I think Emily had just mentioned to me that that's where her strength is right now.
Beautiful. Do you want to sorry.
But like one of my weaknesses for sure. So I think, Emily, you don't have to listen to this part.
Did you want to share, Emily, a little bit about the success you're having with conversations? Like what you've noticed?
Yeah, like I think honestly, the last little bit, it's just been a lot of people enjoying watching like my journey. It's all about like the journey, and obviously Josh and I, like, I don't know if you've seen, but like we're getting really good at success. So like that in itself is like, whoa, like I know this girl, like let me talk to her. And I'm just really having genuine conversations about everything else. And it's like, they're the ones, and they're actually great conversations, which is awesome. Like I'm not feeling like I'm working. I'm just talking to some people. And I feel like 9 times out of 10, they bring it up being like, girl, you're killing it. Or, you know, like, what are you doing? Or, you know, like, so I feel like I have some, like my list has grown like in this month of like my contacts or whatever, like it's tripled. Like I'm not necessarily getting tons of signups right now because people have their excuses. Like it's summertime. It's like I was saying to Amanda, I said, this is our downfall. Like this is our shittiest time of the year in a lot of ways because it's summer. People are out doing things. They're busy. They're at the lake. They're, you know, they're not committing to anything. You know, fall's going to hit. It's going to be like hot again. And then January's going to come and it'll be like the bread and butter of our entire year will be January. And then of course, when, you know, Transform 20 comes out, that'll be a whole other thing. So I'm thinking that I'm just kind of on and like, I'm always commenting on people's things because it's good to get commented on. It feels good. Feels good to get like, you know, a poll done. Like I do all the polls. I don't give a shit if I agree or not. I don't care. I just do them. you know, like it's just, and people are like thanking me in return. So like I said to Amanda, I said, I literally had the most views ever on my Instagram stories yesterday. So, and like the most comments ever. And it's not like it's not a ton for me, but it's like, I switched my personal profile. I got rid of it. And then I switched to just having this like business / like, this is my focus. Yes, it will be like interludes of like family and, you know, relationships in this, but like, I'm really focusing a lot of just fitness, personal development, you know, those things. And if you don't want to watch that, you don't have to watch me. You can, that's fine. I don't mind. And so like, that's kind of how I transitioned people over. And some people didn't come over, and that's fine. Like, they're not my people. And I get that. But a lot of people are coming over, a lot of new people. I started a new area at work. So like with hundreds of nurses. So like, they're all asking me, like, what are you doing? Like, I saw your post. I don't know you, but I followed your Instagram, and a month ago, this is what you look like. And, you know, your husband, like, he's like my greatest success.
That's so awesome. And like the fact that you're saying, like, just the mindset you're going into it, like you're going into it just as a genuine person and to build relationships. And like, I think you have the right approach in just being completely human. And what you said, like, it is the downtime right now, but if you stay consistent, I think during like the summer months when fall comes around,
Totally.
Like, people are going to be like, okay, like you're putting the time in right now to build those yeses, and it's going to explode. Right. And so to do that every day, it's just, yeah, it's going to flow a lot easier. And I think like, yeah, you talked about, like, I was just going to say, like, don't bring up Beachbody, because I think the more you just talk to people, you have commonalities with them. You ask questions about them. I find when you ask questions and you make the conversation about them, people remember how you make them feel more than anything, right? And they're going to latch on to that feeling of like, wow, that person actually cares about me and my well-being, right? Yeah. And when you are just a genuine human, you like and you comment on their posts and you don't bring up Beachbody. And like you said, you're consistent on your journey and you're just giving off this amazing vibe that connects you, right? And you're going to attract your people. Yeah, not necessarily everyone's going to follow you and like, I totally get what you say about posting or commenting and liking on Instagram, because I find the more that I do and I go to my stories, I see an improvement and an increase in numbers, right? And then people get curious because they're like, wow, this person actually cares about me. You know, I want to see what she's doing, right? And that's like you're planting those seeds and they're slowly kind of coming over. And if you're focused more on the process part of it, because if you focus too much on like the quote unquote sale, and I hate ever using that word because that's not what we're about at like all. To me, that's just gross and disgusting. I think of it as if someone approached me. So if someone approached me and just shot off all this information about Beachbody, I'd be like, go fly a kite. Like, I don't want to hear about what you have to say, right? So, but if someone approached me and was like, or like, hey, I love your page, or like started asking questions about me, I would be more receptive to build that relationship and to respond back to that person. And you know what? Like, I feel like since I've started coaching, I have so many awesome relationships with people, and they have not yet signed up for Beachbody. But to me, I think that's a win because I know they're going to eventually, right? Yeah. And so I'm on like text, like I started like messaging these girls on Instagram a long time ago, and we've become like friends, and they've given me their phone number so that we can text back and forth. And they haven't even signed up under Beachbody yet. And I'm like totally cool with it. Right. Yeah. And so, and like right now, like you said, it is challenging to get like to hit Success Club. Like, I'm at Success Club 2 this month, but I'm not like upset about it. Because I know like the relationship building part is the most meaningful part. And if those numbers don't reflect that, like, to me, I'm defining my success about how well I'm building these constructive relationships right now. because I do want to hit Success Club,
Totally.
but I also know that it's not a be all and end all with doing this, because I know like I'm planting those seeds right now. So I guess the basic thing is like, I think of it as if someone approached me, how I would want to be talked to and treated to. That's how I want to engage in conversation with somebody else, and not be anywhere near like a salesperson or anything, and just do your thing, rock your like post, rock your story, and just like be so energetic and happy and passionate. We're all passionate about it, and people feed off of that. So I think that is like the biggest thing that I find successful when it comes to having meaningful conversations, because Beachbody is naturally and authentically brought up once you build that up, right?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you built that trust, right? So that's kind of like my take on relationships.
Yeah, that helps so much, actually.
Good.
Like, it's just, yeah, it's reinforcing that part that I know when I got started, it was through an authentic relationship.
Yeah.
And I was so, yeah, and I know that I was a person that's like super resistant to everything. And so, yeah, again, just a reminder that like treat people the way that you wanted to be treated. And I did, like you were saying, Emily, I haven't like engaged with people on their stories as much. Like I've done more of like the liking and commenting on posts, and I know I can do more of that, but like the idea of clicking on people's polls and stuff, I think is such a good point, because it is like people look for that. I know when I was not huge on Instagram, like I couldn't wait to see who like responded to my stuff. So
totally. Yeah. And another thing too is what I said this to you, Amanda, what Kirsten told me is when people engage on your polls, to like, if you do like accountability check-ins, I usually try to do that. I usually try to do it every day. Like, check in, did you get your sweat on today? And so many different people post, and I think it's important, like the next morning, I'll just send a quick video message, and I'll be like, hey girl, I saw you did your workout yesterday. Awesome job. Keep rocking it. Have a great day. And it's a video message of me, and that's like all I say. And so people, I've noticed people like, and sometimes they respond back, but they're seeing the video messages. And I think that too is like super meaningful, right? They took the time to do that out of their day, and people are going to be more receptive to you. Cause I remember when Morgan sent me a video message, and I was like, oh, I was like, oh my God, you were so sweet, right? So it was just like one of those things where, yeah, you treat others the way you want to be treated, and you see like, oh, did someone look at my poll? You know, other people think the same way. They want to feel like they're important, right? They want to feel like they're an important person. So if you can make them feel like that, then that connection is going to be that much stronger.
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Awesome. I love that.
Yeah. Cool. Was there anything you guys wanted to add or talk about?
Tanner?
You guys should be meal prepping right now, okay? While we're talking.
What did he say?
Apparently we should be meal prepping and doing this at the same. He was just making a sarcastic.
Tanner, P.S. I always love watching your stories. I laugh my ass off all the time. His commentaries is like priceless. You guys are hilarious.
Did you see how he picks the videos of us like totally failing?
That's why I love it. It's so awesome. Oh,
and then
gosh.
there's mine. I'm trying to pick like the one where we're actually like look like we know somewhat what we're doing.
Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome.
Lots of people that follow us both, so it works.
Cool. Okay, well, we should take a picture, I think. Tanner, get in Amanda's picture, please.
You should have your own thing going.
I'm going to stop